Your safety is important to many people, including John Deere Company. Knowledge is a major ingredient for safety. Knowing your abilities, knowing your John Deere skid steer and the work site, knowing the best way to get the job done safely. It's vital that you and everyone who operates the machine understand proper machine operation and recognize situations that, if not avoided, could result in an accident, injuring yourself, someone working with you, or causing property damage. During the next few minutes, you will learn some basic rules and instructions associated with safe operation of John Deere skid steers. Skid steers are unique in their compact, rugged, and highly maneuverable design. They're machines designed for hard work. And as with all types of machines, they must be operated safely. Although this presentation contains many valuable safety guidelines, it should not be treated as the only source for skid steer safety information. Your John Deere Skid Steer Operator's Manual is your primary guide for safe machine operation. The Skid Steer Safety Manual produced by the Equipment Manufacturers Institute is another excellent source. Both of these manuals are located behind the operator's seat. In addition, John Deere Worksite Pro attachments also include a separate operator's manual. It's essential that you become familiar with safe operation principles for your machine and attachments. You'll see the safety alert symbol throughout this presentation, as well as in various manuals and on machine safety labels. The words danger, warning, and caution are used with this safety alert symbol to identify important safety messages. When you see this symbol, be alert to the possibility of serious injury or death. Always follow the written instructions in the safety message. Once you have familiarized yourself with the machine, make certain you are dressed for the job. This may include safety equipment such as a hard hat, protective eyewear, and earplugs. Do not wear loose clothing or anything else that may catch on controls or in moving parts. When entering or exiting the skid steer, face the machine. Use the grab handles and steps, maintaining 3 points of contact at all times. Adjust the seat as needed. John Deere skid steers utilize a sequential interlock system. First, the seat switch must be activated by sitting in the seat. Second, the seat belt must be fastened across your hips. Failure to follow the proper sequence prevents boom or attachment cylinders operation and brake release. Remember that the seat belt is the best restraint system in all skid steers. Take time to read all safety labels or other instructional signs in the operator's station and on other areas of the skid steer or the attachment. The safety labels are important and will help you avoid situations that could result in injury or death. Take them seriously. The most obvious safety feature of your John Deere skid steer is the operator's enclosure. The structure provides falling object protection, or FOPS, and rollover protection, or ROPS. All John Deere skid steers are ROPS and FOPS Level 1 certified. The FOPS, ROPS, and side screens should never be removed or modified. In an emergency, the rear window can be removed to provide a secondary exit. To remove the rear window, push on the bottom corner near the instruction label. Your particular job application could require additional accessories or equipment, such as a cab enclosure or demolition door with shoulder belt, rear view mirror, horn, backup alarm, slow-moving vehicle sign, warning beacon, or four-way flashers. Skid steers utilize a hydrostatic transmission that will react the moment you move the steering levers forward or rearward. The further the levers are moved from the neutral position, the faster the skid steer will go. Moving the steering controls smoothly is the most productive and safest way to operate a skid steer. Sudden movements should be avoided. While hand levers provide travel and steering control, John Deere skid steers offer foot pedals or optional hand controls to operate the boom and attachment cylinders. The right pedal operates the attachment cylinders and the left pedal operates the boom. Or, when equipped with hand controls, the right hand operates the attachment cylinders and the left hand operates the boom. It is extremely important to familiarize yourself with the controls installed on your machine. Maintain a clean operator station, free of debris, especially around the pedal area. Other controls provide for activation of the auxiliary hydraulic system. This will allow you to operate backhoes, breakers, augers, power rakes, and a variety of other hydraulic attachments. If your machine is equipped with foot controls for boom and attachment cylinders operation, the right hand control lever pivots to activate the auxiliary hydraulics. However, if your machine is equipped with optional hand controls for boom and attachment cylinders operation, the right foot pedal is the control for the auxiliary hydraulics. Prior to disconnecting a hydraulic attachment, stop the engine and release the pressure in the hydraulic lines. Caution: hydraulic couplers will be hot after operation. Both options offer an auxiliary hydraulic lockout. The lockout should be engaged when auxiliary hydraulic attachments are not in use. Now, let's talk about starting the machine. Ensure the brake is on and the area is clear of all bystanders and obstacles. Start the engine. Do not attempt to start the engine or operate the controls from outside the operator station. This is an unsafe practice and could result in injury or death. Always sit in the operator's seat with the seatbelt fastened to operate the machine. Check all controls, gauges, instruments, and warning lights. Maintenance of your skid steer might be necessary before you begin operating. Once the engine is started and the engine throttle is set, release the park brake. Attention! When the park brake is released, the skid steer is fully operational. All steering and hydraulic controls are now activated. Get familiar with the operation of the skid steer and its controls. Run the skid steer at a reduced speed until you understand and can control the operation of the machine. All John Deere skid steers have a rated operating capacity. These capacity limits must not be exceeded. Never ram a bucket into a material pile. Overloading a bucket could cause tipping and result in injury to you or damage to the machine and attachment. John Deere provides numerous Worksite Pro attachments in a variety of sizes for use with different materials and applications. Be sure to use the correct size attachment for your skid steer and job. Always make sure your attachment is properly secured to the quick-attach mounting system. Safe handling of loads requires care and good judgment. Here are a few basic guidelines. Remember, enter the material pile slowly. The skid steer has more power with only minimum movement of the controls. Always carry the load as low as possible for the best stability and visibility. Operate the controls smoothly, keeping your hands on the controls and your feet on the foot pedals or footrests at all times. Never stand, lean, or reach out the front of the skid steer when the engine is running. Actions like these could cause activation of a steering or hydraulic control. To maximize efficiency, don't make any sudden stops, starts, or turns. Again, operate the controls smoothly. And avoid rough terrain if possible. Be careful on slopes and avoid traveling across steep slopes. Never operate on an incline with the boom raised. For best stability, keep the heavy end of the skid steer uphill. With no load, the rear is heavier. Refer to the operator's manual for specific instructions. Slow down as you approach a dump site. Raise the load slowly, keeping your load level to prevent spilling over the back of the bucket. Never lift, swing, or move a load over anyone. And never allow anyone to reach under or stand under a raised boom. Remember, you must be aware of your surroundings at all times. Be especially aware of the presence of other persons. Look in all directions before moving. Always look to the rear while backing up. Keep bystanders, children, and pets away from the machine when operating. Never carry riders on the skid steer or on any attachment. It is not a lift platform. Do not let children or an untrained person operate the machine. Never allow children or anyone else to ride with the operator inside the operator station. A skid steer is strictly a one-person machine. Be aware of potential worksite hazards such as overhead power lines and underground power and gas lines. If you must work in an enclosed area, make sure you have adequate ventilation. Exhaust fumes can kill or cause serious illness. Do not leave the seat with the boom raised or with the engine running. Park the machine on a level surface before exiting the skid steer. Always lower the boom and attachment flat on the ground. Engage the parking brake button, stop the engine, and remove the ignition key. This procedure is outlined in the operator's manual and on the skid steer safety sign. For service work, if the boom must be in a raised position, disconnect the attachment. Raise the boom and engage the boom locks into the locked position. Lower the boom onto the locks. This will prevent accidental lowering. Always maintain the correct tire pressure and wheel nut torque. If wheel nuts become loose, an accident may occur, resulting in machine damage or serious injury. Keep all parts in good condition and repair damages promptly. Replace worn parts as needed and be sure to install them correctly. Follow the service interval chart located inside the rear door and in the operator's manual. When transporting a skid steer, follow John Deere's recommended loading and tie-down procedures in the operator's manual. Use a heavy-duty trailer to transport your machine. When loading the skid steer onto a trailer, keep the boom and attachment down. Back the skid steer onto the trailer. Before exiting the machine, lower the attachment to the trailer bed. Engage the parking brake button, stop the engine, and remove the ignition key. Use heavy-duty straps or chains to fasten the machine to the trailer. Use both front and rear skid steer tie-downs to properly secure the machine. Never put chains across the lift arm or attachment cylinders. Damage to the cylinders may occur. Both front and rear straps must be directed down and outward from the machine. Becoming a proficient skid steer operator requires knowledge, skill, and good judgment. Make sure you are that operator. Viewing this presentation is just one of the ways to work toward those goals. Again, the operator's manual is still the best source for more information. It's impossible to cover every situation you could encounter on the work site. However, by following good safety practices and using good judgment, you will protect yourself and those around you. Doing your job well and doing it safely is the mark of a worksite professional.